A werewolf romance written by Georgina Anderson. Prologue. The night she became beast. I don't remember killing him. That's the worst part. Not the blood on my hands when I woke. Not my father's face when he found me standing over the body. Not even the screams of the villagers. The worst part is the blank space in my memory where a man's death should be. His name was Marcus of the Mill. 23 summers old. He'd always been kind to me, offering fresh bread when my father and I came to trade grain. A gentle soul, harmless. And I tore his throat out with teeth I didn't know I had. My name is Maya Ashborn. I'm 19 summers old, and I'm a monster. I woke in my sleeping alcove, moonlight streaming through the hide window my mother had sewn before she died. For 3 heartbeats, everything was normal. Then I saw my hands. Blood. Dried and crusted under my fingernails, staining the lines of my palms, splattered up my forearms like war paint. I lurched from my straw mattress and stumbled outside to the water barrel, scrubbing until my skin was raw. It didn't help. I could still feel it, still smell it, copper and fear and something else, something that made my stomach turn and my mouth water at the same time. What's wrong with me? My father was waiting when I returned. He sat at our rough-hewn table, hands folded, his face carved from stone. He'd been distant since Mother died 3 winters ago, but I'd never seen him look at me like this before, like I was something he didn't recognize. Father, don't. His voice was flat. Dead. Don't say anything. I don't remember. I swear by the old gods. I don't remember. I know. He stood, moving to the doorway. Outside, I could see torches gathering, villagers angry and afraid. They'll be here soon. They'll want justice for Marcus. But we both know what happened, Maya. This wasn't the first time. My stomach dropped. What are you talking about? The blackouts during full moons, the aggression, the way you've been changing. He finally looked at me, and I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Fear. Your mother knew. She tried to protect you, tried to hide it, but I see it now. You're not human. Not entirely. You're not making sense. I found something in your mother's belongings after she passed. Letters, documents written in the old tongue. She came from a bloodline that wasn't natural. She thought it had died out, that you'd be safe. His hands were shaking. But you're not safe, and neither is anyone around you. The torches were getting closer. I could hear voices, angry and calling for blood. Get your cloak, my father said. What? Your cloak. We're leaving. Now. His voice held a command I'd never heard before. If you stay, they'll burn you. And when the next full moon comes, you'll kill everyone who tries. Is that what you want? I couldn't move. Couldn't process. This was my father. The man who'd raised me, who'd taught me to plant and harvest and survive in this harsh northern land. And he was telling me to run. Maya. He grabbed my shoulders. I love you, but I can't protect you from what you are. There's only one place that can. We traveled for 7 days. My father didn't speak except to tell me when to keep my hood up as we passed through villages. We went north, into mountains I'd never seen before, along paths that got progressively narrower and more treacherous, until we weren't on paths anymore, just game trails through ancient pine forest. It was full dark on the 7th night when we finally stopped. We were at a gate, a massive iron gate set into a stone wall that disappeared into the trees on either side. Beyond it, I could see structures, wooden longhouses and stone buildings that looked more like a warrior's keep than anything else. Torches burned in iron sconces. Smoke rose from several chimneys. What is this place? I asked. Bloodmoon Pack. My father stared straight ahead. Your mother's people. She was sent away from here when she was young. They said she was too human, too weak for their ways. But they'll take you. They have to. It's blood law. I don't understand. You're a werewolf, Maya. He said it like he was reciting a death rite. Or you will be, fully, after a few more moons. Your mother was born here. She left, tried to live among humans, thought she could have a normal life. But the wolf blood doesn't lie. It always returns. I stared at him. Werewolf. The word sat in the cold air between us, absurd and impossible and true in a way that made my skin crawl, because some part of me, some deep, buried part, had always known I was wrong. Get out, he said. Father, get out. His voice cracked. Before I change my mind, before I do something we'll both regret. I climbed down from the cart with numb hands, stood in the cold mountain air wearing nothing but my wool dress and cloak, with no possessions except a small knife at my belt, and the growing certainty that my life, whatever I'd thought it was over. Will I see you again? I asked. My father looked at me through the darkness, and for just a moment I saw grief in his eyes. Raw and terrible and bottomless. No, he said. May the old gods watch over you, daughter. You'll need them. He turned the cart and left. Didn't look back. Left me standing at the gate with no coin, no food, nothing except the clothes on my back and the growing certainty that I'd been abandoned. I stood there for perhaps a quarter hour before the gate opened. 6 wolves emerged from the compound. Not people, actual wolves. Massive, easily the size of draft horses, with eyes that glowed in torchlight and teeth that caught the flames like ivory daggers. They surrounded me in heartbeats, moving with coordinated precision that spoke of predators who'd hunted together for years. I wanted to run. Every instinct screamed at me to bolt into the forest, but my legs wouldn't move. I just stood there, shaking, as the largest wolf, gray with silver markings, approached. It stared at me with eyes that were disturbingly human, intelligent, assessing. Then it shifted. I'd heard tales, legends, but nothing prepared me for watching a wolf become a person. The way bones cracked and reformed, the way fur receded into skin, the way the whole process took perhaps 10 heartbeats and looked like it should have taken hours. The woman who stood where the wolf had been was perhaps 40 summers, with silver black hair pulled back in a warrior's braid and scars covering her visible skin. She was naked, apparently that was common, and completely unconcerned about it. Maya Ashborn, she said. Not a question. Daughter of Sarah Nightshade, hybrid, uncontrolled. How do you know? Your father sent a rider ahead 3 days ago, told us you were coming, told us what you did. She smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Marcus of the Mill, 23 summers. You tore out his throat during your first transformation. I felt sick. Hearing it said so plainly made it real in a way it hadn't been before. I didn't mean to. No one ever does. First transformations are always violent, always messy. That's why we train. She gestured to the compound behind her. I'm Kira Bloodmoon, alpha of this pack. Your mother was my sister-born. Same bloodline, different mothers. That makes you pack by blood, even if you were raised among humans. I don't want to be here. I don't care. Her voice went hard. You're a werewolf. An uncontrolled hybrid werewolf with human kills already stacking up. You have 2 choices. Stay here and learn control, or I put you down right now like the rabid animal you are. You can't. She moved faster than I could track. 1 heartbeat, she was 10 paces away. The next, her hand was around my throat, lifting me off the ground with impossible strength. I can, she said softly. And I will if you prove too dangerous. You don't get to be human anymore, Maya. That life is over. This is your life now. Accept it or die. Choose. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, could only stare into those cold gray eyes and see the absolute certainty that she meant every word. I'll stay, I choked out. She dropped me. I fell to my knees, gasping. Smart. Kira turned to the other wolves, who'd shifted to human while we talked. 3 women and 2 men, all watching me with expressions ranging from curiosity to disdain. Take her to the recruit quarters. Get her fed, clothed, and settled. Training starts at dawn. What if she tries to run? One of the men asked. Then she doesn't make it out of the forest. Kira looked down at me one last time. Welcome to Bloodmoon, hybrid. Try not to die in the first week. She shifted back to wolf form and loped through the gate, leaving me kneeling in the dirt with 6 strangers, and the growing realization that I'd just entered a nightmare I couldn't wake from. Part 1. The Outcast, Chapter 1. Where Beasts Learn to Be Weapons. The recruit quarters was a long wooden building that smelled like sweat, wet fur, and wood smoke. Inside were perhaps 20 sleeping pallets, most of them occupied. Young people, youths to young adults, sat on furs or clustered in groups, all of them stopping their conversations to stare at me. Fresh meat, someone muttered. One of my escorts, a woman who'd introduced herself as Vera, pointed to an empty pallet near the back. That's yours. Spare clothes are in the chest. Meals are in the great hall at dawn, midday, and dusk. Don't be late. Don't start fights. Don't try to leave. Questions? I had about 1,000 questions. I opened my mouth. Good, Vera said, and left before I could speak. I stood there awkwardly, acutely aware of every eye on me. Finally, I walked to my assigned pallet and sat down, trying to look anywhere except at the people staring. So, you're the hybrid. I looked up. A girl stood in front of me, maybe 18 summers, with dark skin, intricate braids, and the kind of confident posture that spoke of someone who'd never doubted their place in the world. Behind her were 3 others. A tall boy with a crooked smile, a smaller girl with nervous energy, and a serious-looking young man built like a blacksmith. I'm Zara, the girl said. That's Ty, Iris, and Logan. We're your bunkmates, I suppose. What's your name? Maya? Maya, the hybrid who killed someone during her first transformation. Zara said it matter-of-factly. Word travels fast here. You frightened yet? Yes? Good. You should be. First week at Bloodmoon is hell. She sat on the pallet across from mine. But you'll survive. Probably. The mortality rate's only about 2 in 10. That's not comforting. The tall boy, Ty, laughed. You'll get used to Zara. She's brutally honest about everything. It's charming once you get past the terror. I'm realistic, Zara corrected. Maya needs to know what she's in for. Kira's a hard-ass alpha who'll work you until you break. The training is designed to hurt, and half the pack thinks hybrids are dangerous abominations who should be culled at birth. She smiled. But the food's decent. I stared at her. Why are you all here, if it's so terrible? Because we're monsters too, Iris said quietly. She was the nervous one, picking at her fingernails. Born wrong, did terrible things. Got sent here because our packs didn't know what else to do with us. I killed my best friend during my first shift, Logan said. His voice was flat. Practiced. Like he'd said it so many times it had lost meaning. Didn't mean to. Doesn't matter. Dead is dead. I was sold to Bloodmoon by my mother, Zara added. She couldn't control me, didn't want me, figured she'd make some silver off the problem. So here I am. I'm just an Omega who can't shift properly, Ty said with a shrug. Defective, born under a bad moon, or cursed by the gods, or whatever explanation makes people feel better about throwing me away. They were all broken, all cast out, all here because they had nowhere else to go. Just like me. How long have you been here? I asked. 6 moons, Zara said. I'm senior recruit now. Logan's been here 4 moons, Iris 3, Ty 2. You're the newest baby wolf in our little band of outcasts. Some band. We don't choose blood, but we choose pack. And like it or not, you're pack now. Zara stood. Get some sleep. Tomorrow's going to break you in ways you can't imagine. But after that? She smiled, and for the first time it looked genuine. After that, you become something that can't be broken. I didn't sleep. How could I? Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Marcus's face. Saw blood. Saw my father's cart disappearing into darkness. saw Kira's cold eyes promising death if I failed. Around me, the other recruits eventually settled into sleep. The quarters filled with soft breathing and the occasional whimper. Someone having nightmares, probably. I lay on the thin pallet, staring at the wooden ceiling, trying to process the last 7 days. Werewolf. I'm a werewolf. It should have felt absurd. Should have felt impossible. But I could feel it inside me. That thing that had woken during the full moon. That beast that had torn Marcus apart. It was still there, sleeping but present. A second heartbeat underneath my own. What am I going to become? Outside I heard howling. Long, mournful notes that spoke of wild things and ancient hunts. The beast inside me stirred at the sound, wanting to answer, wanting to run and hunt and be what it was meant to be. I buried my face in the furs and tried not to scream. Dawn came with a bell that sounded like it was designed to shatter eardrums. Everyone lurched awake immediately. Clearly they were used to it. I sat up groggily, my whole body aching from a sleepless night, and watched the organized chaos as recruits dressed and prepared for the day. "Move it, hybrid," Zara called. "Breakfast in 5 minutes, training in 30. If you're late, Kira makes you run until you puke." I scrambled into the clothes from my chest. Rough canvas breeches, a fitted tunic, boots that were broken in but not mine. Everything smelled like leather and wolf musk. It felt like wearing someone else's skin. The great hall was a massive timber structure filled with long tables. Perhaps 100 wolves were eating, adults and recruits mixed together, conversations loud and rowdy. I followed Zara to a table where Ty, Logan, and Iris were already loading wooden trenchers with food. "Eat," Zara ordered, shoving a trencher at me. "You'll need strength." The food was simple but plentiful. Porridge, salted meat, bread, dried fruit. I ate mechanically, tasting nothing, watching the other wolves. They moved with casual confidence, comfortable in their skin in a way I'd never been. They belonged here. I didn't. "First day's always the worst," Ty said, sitting beside me. Up close, he was handsome in an unconventional way. Sharp features, intelligent eyes, that crooked smile that suggested he found everything slightly amusing. "Kira's going to test you, push you, try to make you quit or die or both. It's kind of her way. Encouraging. I'm not here to encourage. I'm here to prepare." He leaned closer, his voice dropping. "The secret is, she's not trying to break you. She's trying to figure out what you're made of. Show her you're not weak, and you'll survive. Show her you're weak, and..." He drew a finger across his throat. "I'm not weak." "Good. Prove it." A howl rang out, different from the ones last night. This was command, pure and simple. Every wolf in the hall stood immediately. I scrambled up a heartbeat later, following their lead. Kira walked in. She was in human form, dressed in leather breeches and a fitted jerkin, her silver-black hair still in that severe braid. She moved through the hall like she owned it, which I supposed she did. When she reached the front, every wolf had gone silent. "Recruits," she said. Her voice carried without her raising it. "Training ground. Now." We filed out. Chapter 2. Breaking Point. The training ground was a large clearing surrounded by forest. Equipment hung from wooden frames, ropes, weights, obstacles that looked like they'd been designed by someone who hated joy. 20 recruits lined up, me stumbling into place at the end. Kira stood before us, flanked by 3 senior warriors I recognized from last night. "Training at Bloodmoon serves one purpose," she began. "To forge you from broken wolves into controlled weapons. You're here because you're dangerous. Uncontrolled. Defective. My job is to fix that or kill you trying." She started pacing. "Most of you will fail. You'll wash out, return to whatever hell spawned you, and die unmourned. Some of you will die here, training accidents mostly, though occasionally someone gets stupid and challenges authority." Her eyes found mine. "And a very small number of you will complete training. Will earn your place as Bloodmoon warriors. will become the thing every pack in these territories fears. She stopped in front of me. Maya Ashborn. Hybrid. First kill at 19 summers. Uncontrolled transformation. Abandoned by her human family. She smiled coldly. Tell me, Hybrid, do you think you belong here? Every eye was on me. I felt naked. Exposed. I don't know, I said honestly. Wrong answer. You don't belong here. Not yet. You're weak, untrained, a liability. The only reason you're not dead is blood law. Your mother was Pack, so you get one chance. One. Don't waste it. She turned back to the group. We begin with basics. Shifting is about control, about understanding that the wolf and the human aren't separate. They're the same being in different forms. Most of you know this already, but our hybrid friend doesn't. She looked at me again. Maya, shift. Now. I stared at her. I don't know how. Figure it out. I've only shifted once during the full moon, and I don't remember. Figure it out. Each word was ice. You have 30 heartbeats before I make you shift the hard way. And trust me, you won't enjoy my method. Panic clawed at my chest. I closed my eyes, trying to find that beast inside me. Please, I thought. Please help me. Nothing. The beast was there. I could feel it, but it wasn't responding. It was like screaming into a void. 20 heartbeats. I tried harder, reached deeper, felt something stir. Pain exploded through my chest. I opened my eyes to find Kira's fist buried in my stomach. She'd struck me so fast I hadn't seen her move. I collapsed, gasping, unable to breathe. Fear triggers the shift, she said clinically. Pain triggers the shift. Rage triggers the shift. You're experiencing all three. So shift, hybrid, or I keep hitting you until you do. She kicked me, hard, in the ribs. The beast roared. I felt it surge up inside me, furious and feral and ready to tear her apart. My bones started breaking, starting with my hands, fingers elongating into claws. Stop! The command was alpha voice. Undeniable. My body froze mid-transformation, caught between forms in absolute agony. Good, Kira said. You can partially shift. That's step 1. Now hold it for 60 heartbeats. Holding it was worse than the shift itself. Every muscle trembled. Every nerve screamed. My half-formed claws shook, fur sprouting in patches across my arms. I could feel my jaw trying to elongate, my spine trying to curve, but Kira's command held me locked. 45 heartbeats! I wanted to scream, wanted to beg, wanted to give up. Don't you dare, something inside me growled. Don't you fucking dare show weakness. 30 heartbeats. My vision started to blur. Blood dripped from my nose. The strain of holding partial transformation was too much. 15 heartbeats. Almost there. Just hold on, just time. Shift back. I collapsed into human form so fast, it felt like being turned inside out. I lay on the ground, gasping, my whole body shaking. Acceptable, Kira said. You'll practice partial transformations every day until you can hold them for an hour. Next time I won't give you the command to stop. You'll have to learn control on your own. She looked at the other recruits. Everyone pair up, sparring, human form only. Maya, you're with Ty. Try not to kill him. She walked away, leaving me lying in the dirt. Ty appeared above me, offering his hand. Well, that was brutal. She's insane, I gasped. Nah, she's effective. There's a difference. He pulled me up. Come on, hybrid. Let's see if you can throw a punch better than you can shift. I couldn't. Ty moved like water. Fast, fluid, always 3 steps ahead of me. Every time I swung, he wasn't there. Every time I thought I had an opening, it was a trap. Within 2 minutes, I was on my back for the 3rd time. You fight like a human, he said, not even breathing hard. All anger, no strategy. That might work in a tavern brawl, but it'll get you killed here. I'm trying, I snarled. Try smarter. He offered his hand again. Why did he keep doing that? You're strong. I can feel it. Hybrid blood makes you stronger than most of us. But strength without control is just violence waiting to happen. Stop being kind to me. Why? Because you don't deserve it? He pulled me up, and this time he didn't let go of my hand immediately. Listen, Maya. Everyone here has killed. Everyone here has done things they regret. You're not special in your guilt. So either wallow in it and wash out, or use it. Let it make you better. Before I could respond, a scream cut through the training ground. We all turned. One of the recruits, a girl I didn't know, was on the ground, her leg bent at a horrifying angle. Another recruit stood over her, shifted to wolf form, snarling. Shift back, one of the instructors commanded. Now! The wolf didn't respond. Its eyes were wild, feral, completely gone. Oh, gods, Ty whispered. She's lost. What does that mean? It means she's gone full wolf. No human consciousness left. It happens sometimes. The beast takes over completely. He grabbed my arm. Don't move. Don't make eye contact. Don't. The wolf lunged, not at the injured girl, at us. Time slowed. I saw it coming. Massive jaws, killing teeth, death in lupine form. Saw Ty try to shift. Too slow, not going to make it. My beast exploded out. Not a full transformation. Just my arms, my hands, claws erupting through skin and muscle and bone. I caught the wolf mid-leap, my hybrid strength matching its momentum, and we went down in a tangle of limbs and fury. It snapped at my throat. I got my forearm up, felt teeth puncture through muscle. Pain. Rage. The beast inside me roaring for blood. Maya, control! Kira's voice cut through the haze. I looked up, saw her watching with those cold gray eyes, and understood. This was another test. Control. Not submission. Control. I breathed, felt the rage, acknowledged it, didn't let it lead. My claws were at the wolf's throat. One movement and I'd kill her. Instead, I shifted back to human. Held her down with just my weight and determination. She's gone, I said, voice steady despite the blood running down my arm. Lost to the beast. What do we do? Kira approached slowly, knelt beside the wolf, placed her hand on its head. Sleep, she said softly, alpha command but gentle. Sleep, child. I've got you. The wolf's eyes cleared, just for a moment. Then it slumped, unconscious. Get her to the healers, Kira ordered. 2 warriors appeared, shifted to wolf form, and carefully carried their packmate away. Kira stood, looking down at me. I was still human, still bleeding, still holding the space where the wolf had been. You controlled the shift, she said, partially, in combat, and you chose restraint over killing. Something flickered in her expression. Not quite approval, but not disapproval either. Interesting. She walked away. Ty helped me up. Holy gods, Maya! That was stupid, Zara interrupted, appearing beside us. That was stupid and reckless, and you're lucky you didn't get killed. But she didn't, Ty countered. She controlled it, partially shifted, fought, and shifted back. That's advanced. It's hybrid blood, Logan said, joining our group. They're naturally stronger, more aggressive, more dangerous, I finished. Yes, I've heard. I was going to say powerful. Logan looked at me with something like respect. That was good instinct. Reckless, but good. Iris just stared at me, wide-eyed and silent. Come on, Zara said, grabbing my uninjured arm. Let's get you to the healers before you bleed out. And then we're going to talk about not being a hero, because heroes die young here, and I've gotten attached to your stupid face. As she dragged me away, I caught Kira watching from across the training ground. Our eyes met for one brief moment. Then she turned away, dismissing me. But something had changed. I could feel it. Chapter 3. Pack Bonds. The healing house turned out to be a small stone building staffed by an elderly woman named Clara, who'd seen everything twice and was completely unimpressed by my dramatic injury. "Bite wound," she said, examining my arm. "Clean. You'll heal fast. Hybrid blood is good for something. No stitches needed." "It doesn't hurt that much," I lied. "Yes, it does. But you're young and stupid, so you'll pretend it doesn't." She slathered something that smelled like pine pitch and burned like fire across the punctures. "You're Sarah's daughter." I froze. "You knew my mother?" Everyone knew Sarah. She was beta-born, should have been a great warrior, but she was too gentle for this life, too human. Clara wrapped my arm with clean linen. "She left when she was 20 summers. Said she wanted a normal life. We all knew it wouldn't last. The wolf always calls you home, but she tried." She met my eyes. "You look like her. Fight like her too. All heart, no sense." "Is that a compliment?" "It's an observation. Your mother loved too much, felt too deeply. It made her weak here, but it made her good everywhere else. You've got the same problem." "I'm not weak." "Didn't say you were. Said you loved too much. There's a difference." She finished the wrapping. "Kira knew your mother. They were close once. That's why she's so hard on you. She sees Sarah in you, and it angers her." "Why?" Clara smiled sadly. "Because Sarah chose humanity over Pack. Chose love over duty. And Kira never forgave her for it." Before I could ask more, the door burst open. Ty stuck his head in. "Training's over. Kira said recruits have free time until the evening meal. We're taking Maya to the lake." He grinned. "Unless you're too injured, hybrid?" "I'm fine." "Liar, but come anyway." The lake was perhaps a quarter-hour's walk through the forest, a pristine mountain lake fed by snowmelt, surrounded by pines and eerily quiet. Zara, Ty, Logan, and Iris were already there when we arrived, plus a few other recruits I didn't know. "Welcome to our secret place," Zara said, pulling off her tunic without ceremony. "Unofficial recruit bonding location. Instructors know about it, but pretend they don't. No shifting, no fighting, no pack hierarchy. Just us being young and stupid for a few hours." "Are we swimming?" I asked. "Gods, yes. Water's freezing, but it feels amazing after training." She dove in, clothes and all. The others followed, Ty with a running leap that turned into a cannonball, Logan and Iris more carefully, until it was just me standing on the shore. "You coming?" Ty called, treading water. I'm not good with people." "Good thing we're wolves, then." "Come on, Maya. When's the last time you did something just because it felt good?" I couldn't remember. Everything in my life had been survival, obligation, trying to be normal. When was the last time I'd just existed? I pulled off my boots and dove in. The water was shockingly cold, mountain runoff that hadn't seen sun in moons. But Ty was right. It felt amazing, washing away the blood and sweat and fear of the day. I surfaced, gasping and laughing despite myself. "There she is," Zara said, floating nearby. "The girl under all that trauma and anger. She's not so bad." We swam and talked, and for perhaps an hour I forgot I was a monster. Forgot I'd killed someone. Forgot that my father had abandoned me and my life was over. I was just Maya, swimming in a lake with people who might become friends. "Tell us your story," Iris said eventually. We'd moved to the shore, sitting on sun-warmed rocks, letting the afternoon heat dry our clothes. "What story?" "Everyone here has one. The thing that brought us to Bloodmoon. We've all shared ours." She looked at me with those nervous eyes. "You don't have to, but it helps, knowing you're not alone in the terrible things." I looked at the others. Zara, confident and scarred. Ty, always smiling, but with shadows in his eyes. Logan, built like a warrior but soft-spoken. Iris, tiny and terrified, but still here. "I killed someone," I said, "during my first transformation. I don't remember doing it. Don't remember anything except waking up covered in blood. Same, Logan said quietly. My best friend since we were children. We were hunting. Full moon came. I shifted for the first time. When I woke, he was dead. I'd torn him apart. My mother sold me, Zara added. Not metaphorically. She literally negotiated a price with Kira. 300 silver pieces and a promise that Bloodmoon would never contact her again. I was 14 summers. I was born defective, Ty said. His usual smile was gone. Omega blood, but I shift wrong. Partial transformations that hurt, never full wolf form. My pack tried everything. Rituals, punishments, even silver poisoning to burn out the defect. Nothing worked. So they sent me here to be Bloodmoon's problem. I can't control my rage, Iris whispered. I'm beta-born, but I fight like an alpha. Aggressive, violent, no restraint. I put 3 packmates in the healing house during training. My alpha said either Bloodmoon teaches me control, or he'd have me executed for being too dangerous. We sat in silence, letting the weight of our collective trauma settle around us. We're all broken, I finally said. Yes, Zara agreed. But maybe that's fine. Maybe broken things can still be useful, still be strong, still matter. Is that what Kira's doing? Making us useful? I think she's trying to make us whole, or as close to whole as wolves like us can get. Ty stood, offering me his hand. He was always doing that. Come on, evening meal soon. And tomorrow's another day of hell. Might as well face it with full bellies and clean clothes. I took his hand, let him pull me up. As we walked back to the compound, I felt something I hadn't felt in days. Hope. Small and fragile, but there. Maybe I could survive this. Maybe I could become something more than just the monster who'd killed Marcus. Maybe. Part 2, The Transformation. Chapter 4, The breaking training intensified over the next 3 moons. Every morning started with the same brutal routine. 5-mile run in human form, combat drills, forced partial transformations held until you collapsed. Afternoons were worse. Full transformations, pack coordination exercises, hunting drills where they made you track and kill live prey. I was terrible at all of it. My shifts were violent and uncontrolled. My combat skills were continue 11:51 a.m. loppy. My pack coordination was non-existent because I couldn't feel the pack bond the way born wolves did. Every day I fell further behind, while wolves like Zara and Logan excelled. Only Ty seemed to struggle as much as I did. His partial shifts were agonizing. I could see it in his face, the way his bones would start to break and then stop, leaving him caught between forms and trembling with pain. Why do you keep trying? I asked him one night after a particularly brutal training session. We were sitting outside the quarters, both of us too sore to sleep. Because giving up means going back to my pack, and they'll kill me if I do. He said it lightly, but I heard the truth underneath. At least here, I'm dying for something. Becoming something. That's more than I had before. But you're in so much pain. So are you. Every time you shift, I see it, the way your body fights the transformation. But you keep doing it. He looked at me with those intelligent eyes. Why? Because I don't have anywhere else to go. No, that's not it. He shifted closer. You keep trying because you're not ready to give up on yourself. Even though you killed someone. Even though your father abandoned you. Even though you're surrounded by wolves who think hybrids are dangerous mistakes. You keep trying because some part of you believes you're worth saving. His words hit harder than any of Kira's blows. I'm not... You are. I see it. Zara sees it. Even Kira sees it, though she'd never admit it. He smiled that crooked smile. You're going to make it, Maya. And when you do, you're going to be incredible. I wanted to believe him. Wanted to think I was more than just a killer. More than just a mistake. But 4 moons into training, I proved exactly what I was. It happened during a night hunt. They'd taken us into the forest. Me, Ty, Zara, Logan, Iris, and 3 other recruits. The goal was simple. Hunt as a pack, bring down prey, learn to coordinate in wolf form. Kira and 2 senior warriors accompanied us, observing but not interfering. We shifted, painful but faster now, my body learning the pattern even if it still fought it. My wolf form was larger than the others, with that distinctive silver streak through my fur that marked hybrid blood. In wolf form, I could finally feel what I couldn't as human. The pack bond. Faint but present, connecting me to the other recruits through instinct and awareness. The hunt began. We tracked deer through the forest, moving as a unit for the first time. Zara led. She was a natural alpha, even though she'd never admit it. Logan and Iris flanked. Ty and I brought up the rear with the other recruits. It should have been perfect. Should have been the moment we proved we could work together. Instead, everything went wrong. The deer were a herd, perhaps 20 strong. Our target was an older stag, separated slightly from the others, limping from some old injury. Easy prey. Zara signaled the attack pattern through the pack bond. We spread out, moving to surround and drive the stag toward Logan and Iris, who'd make the kill. It was working. The stag ran exactly where we wanted. Logan lunged, and Ty stepped wrong. I saw it happen as if time had slowed. His partially shifted body, always unstable, gave out at the crucial moment. He fell directly in Logan's path. Logan tried to dodge, couldn't, crashed into Ty. They went down in a tangle of limbs. The stag bolted. But worse, the collision triggered something in me. My beast surged. Not the controlled surge I'd been learning. Not the measured release Kira taught. This was the thing that had woken up during the full moon. The thing that had killed Marcus. Feral, unstoppable, hungry. I chased the stag, forgot the pack, forgot the plan. Just pure predator instinct driving me forward. I caught it, brought it down with savage efficiency, tore into its throat while it was still alive, drinking blood that tasted like victory and power and rightness. And I didn't stop. Even after the deer was dead, I kept tearing, ripping, destroying, lost completely to the beast, to the joy of the kill, to the overwhelming sensation of being what I was meant to be, a predator without conscience or control. I felt them before I saw them, pack bonds suddenly screaming alarm. I turned, blood-soaked and snarling, and saw the other recruits backing away from me. Saw Ty, still on the ground, eyes wide with fear. Mine, my beast thought. Prey. Weak. Kill it. I lunged. Ty tried to shift fully, couldn't, his defective transformation leaving him helpless. I was on him in heartbeats, jaws at his throat, claws raking across his chest. Something hit me like a boulder thrown by a siege engine. I flew backwards, crashed into a tree hard enough to crack ribs. Looked up through blurred vision and saw Kira in full alpha form. Massive, silver-streaked black, radiating so much dominance that every instinct I had screamed submit. No, my beast snarled. Alpha, challenge, fight! I launched myself at her. Mistake, fatal mistake. Kira was combat perfection. She caught me mid-leap, slammed me into the ground, and pinned me with one massive paw on my throat. Her jaws closed around my muzzle, not biting, just holding, showing me exactly how easy it would be to kill me. Submit, she growled. Alpha voice, undeniable. My beast fought, thrashed, refused. Kira's teeth tightened. I tasted blood, my own. Felt bones in my jaw begin to crack. Submit or die, something deep inside whispered. Choose. I went limp. The fight drained out of me like water from a broken bucket. My beast receded, whimpering, recognizing the superior predator. I shifted back to human, naked, bloody, broken in more ways than physical. Kira shifted too. Stood over me, her face carved from stone. You lost control, she said. No anger, just statement of fact. Went feral, tried to kill your packmate, challenged your alpha. She knelt, bringing her face close to mine. Give me one reason I shouldn't execute you right now. I couldn't speak, could only lie there, shaking, looking past her at Ty. He'd shifted back too, barely conscious, his chest covered in claw marks from where I'd tried to kill him. I'm sorry, I whispered. Sorry doesn't bring back the dead. Sorry doesn't undo the damage. Sorry is what cowards say when they're too weak to control themselves. She stood. You have two choices, hybrid. Quit. Leave Bloodmoon. Go rogue. Die alone in the wilderness. Or face punishment and learn from this. Choose now. I looked at Ty again. At the blood I'd spilled. At the fear in his eyes when he'd seen me coming for him. I'm a monster. Just like everyone said. I choose punishment, I said. Kira smiled. It was terrifying. Good. Chapter 5. The lesson. Punishment meant 3 things: pain, isolation, and understanding. Kira took me back to the compound alone, leaving the other recruits with the senior warriors. She didn't speak during the walk, and I didn't dare. I could still feel her alpha presence, heavy and absolute. My beast was completely cowed, hiding in the deepest part of me. She brought me to a building I hadn't seen before. Small, stone, separate from everything else. Inside was a single room with silver chains hanging from the walls. My blood went cold. What? Silver suppresses the wolf, Kira said, beginning to attach the chains to my wrists and ankles. Makes shifting impossible. Makes you feel human, weak, helpless. She tightened the cuffs. They burned immediately, worse than anything I'd experienced. You'll stay here for 3 days. No food, water once daily. And you'll think about what you are and what you want to become. This is torture. This is mercy. She grabbed my face, forcing me to meet her eyes. You nearly killed Ty. If I'd been 1 heartbeat slower, he'd be dead. You understand that? Not injured, dead. Because you lost control. Tears burned in my eyes. I didn't mean, I don't care about your intentions. I care about results. And the result is that you're dangerous. Uncontrolled. Everything hybrids are feared for being. She let go. So you have 3 days in the dark, in pain, with nothing but your thoughts. And you decide, do you want to be a weapon that I control? Or a rabid animal I put down? She left. The door closed, locked from outside. And I was alone. The first day was physical agony. The silver burned constantly, not surface burns, but deep, like it was poisoning me from the inside out. My beast howled, trapped behind the metal's suppressant properties. I couldn't feel her anymore, couldn't sense the pack bond, couldn't access anything that made me wolf. I was just Maya, weak, human, alone. The second day was worse because the physical pain faded into background noise, and I was left with my thoughts. What am I? Not human. Humans didn't turn into monsters and kill people. Not wolf. Wolves had control, discipline, pack bonds I could barely feel. I was something in between. Something that didn't fit anywhere. Hybrid. Dangerous. Mistake. I thought about Ty. About the fear in his eyes when I'd come for him. About how easily I could have killed him. About Marcus. Dead because I couldn't control the thing inside me. Everyone would be better off if I was dead. The thought was seductive. Simple. True, maybe. But then I remembered. Zara, telling me broken things could still be useful. Ty, saying I was worth saving. Clara, telling me I had my mother's heart. Maybe they're wrong. Maybe I'm exactly what Kira said. A rabid animal waiting to be put down. Or maybe they're right. Maybe I can learn. Change. Become something that isn't just a killer. The third day, Kira came. She unchained me without ceremony. My wrists and ankles were raw, the skin burned away in perfect circles. I couldn't stand. 3 days with minimal movement had left my legs useless. She caught me when I fell. Have you decided? She asked. I looked up at her. Really looked. Saw the scars, the hard eyes, the absolute control. Saw the alpha who'd built Bloodmoon into something feared and respected. And underneath it, for just a moment, I saw something else. Something that looked like pain. I want to learn, I said. I want to be better. I don't want to be the thing that kills people I care about. Good. She helped me to my feet. Then we start over. But this time, I'm training you personally. No more group exercises. Just you, me, and the work of rebuilding you from the ground up. Why? The question slipped out before I could stop it. Kira could have punished me for presumption. Instead, she just looked at me with those gray eyes. Because I made your mother a promise, she said quietly, that if you ever came to Bloodmoon, I'd teach you to survive, even if it killed us both. She left me with that, walking away before I could ask more. But Clara's words echoed. Kira knew your mother. They were close once. How close? And what promise had my mother extracted that Kira was willing to torture me to keep? Chapter 6. Private training recovery took a week. The silver burns healed slowly. Even hybrid blood couldn't overcome silver poisoning quickly. But Clara tended them daily, applying her foul-smelling salves and muttering about stubborn girls who don't know when to quit. Ty visited on the third day. Hey, he said, standing awkwardly in the healing house doorway. Hi. So, you tried to kill me. I'm sorry, I said. I'm so sorry, Ty. I lost control and I know. Kira told us what happened, how you went feral. He came closer. I just wanted to say, I don't blame you. It was my fault. I fell, disrupted the hunt, triggered your instincts. That doesn't excuse... No, but it explains. He sat on the bed beside me. Maya, we're all learning control. All of us. Some days we succeed. Some days we fail spectacularly and nearly kill each other. That's part of this. You could have died, but I didn't, because Kira was there. Because she's teaching us not just to fight, but to survive our own nature. He smiled. Besides, the scars are kind of impressive. Zara says they make me look dangerous. Despite everything, I laughed. You're not angry? I'm terrified. Of you, of myself, of this whole situation. But I'm not angry. He took my hand. We're pack, Maya. That means when you fall, I help you up. Even if you fell on top of me with murder in your eyes. His hand was warm. Solid. Real. Thank you, I whispered. Don't thank me. Just get better. Kira's personal training is legendary. Only a few wolves ever get that honor. Usually because she's trying to kill them or make them into something extraordinary. He squeezed my hand. I'm betting on extraordinary. Personal training with Kira began the following week. Just us, alone in the training ground at dawn before the other recruits woke. No audience, no judgment. Just alpha and hybrid, teacher and student. We start with breathing, she said. Breathing? You shift with emotion. Rage, fear, pain. That's normal for uncontrolled wolves. But controlled wolves shift with intention, and intention begins with breath. She sat on the ground, cross-legged. Sit. I sat. Close your eyes. Find your beast. Not with force, with awareness. Feel where she lives inside you. I closed my eyes. Reached inside. My beast was there, not hiding anymore, just waiting. Hello, I thought. She stirred. Acknowledgement. Not quite communication, but connection. Good, Kira said. Now ask her to come forward, not demand. Ask, I tried, felt the beast move, rising toward the surface. Pain exploded through my hands as they began to shift. Breathe through it, Kira ordered. The pain is your body remembering how to break and reform. Accept it. Don't fight it. I breathed, felt bones break and remake, felt claws emerge. And for the first time, it didn't feel violent. Just natural. My hands were fully shifted, Claws, fur, the beginning of paw pads. I held them steady, breathing, maintaining the transformation without effort. How long can you hold it? Kira asked. I don't know. Find out. We sat for an hour. My hands shifted, held, steady. The longest I'd ever maintained a partial transformation. When I finally let it go, shifting back to human, I was exhausted, but not broken. Better, Kira said. Tomorrow we work on legs, then torso, then full transformation broken into steps. You're going to learn that shifting isn't one movement, it's 100 small changes. Master the small changes, master the shift. It was revelatory. For moons, I'd been trying to shift all at once, human to wolf in heartbeats like the others. But my hybrid blood made that violent, uncontrolled. Breaking it into pieces made it manageable. We trained every morning for 3 moons. Slowly, painfully, I learned to shift with intention instead of emotion. Learned to hold partial transformations without pain. Learned to shift specific body parts on command. And slowly, I started to see Kira differently. She wasn't just the cold alpha who'd threatened to kill me. She was a teacher. Demanding, brutal, but genuinely trying to help me survive. Every punishment had purpose. Every harsh word was designed to break bad habits. Why are you doing this? I asked one morning after a particularly good session. Training me personally. You don't do this for other recruits. Kira was silent for a long moment. Your mother was my best friend, she finally said. We grew up together. Trained together. We're supposed to lead this pack together. She stared into the distance. But Sarah was too gentle, too human. The pack pressured her to be harder, colder, more alpha. She couldn't do it. So she left. And you were angry. I was devastated. She chose humanity over me, over pack, over everything we'd built. Kira looked at me. When she died and I learned she had a daughter, a hybrid daughter who'd inherited her gentle heart and my rage, I knew you'd end up here eventually. And I promised myself I'd teach you what I couldn't teach her, how to be both strong and kind, how to keep your humanity while mastering the beast. Is that possible? For you? Yes. You have your mother's compassion and her strength. You just need to learn how to wield both. She stood. Now 10 miles. Full shift. Let's see if you can maintain control while running. I shifted, smoothly now, naturally, and ran beside her. For the first time, I felt like I might actually become what she was trying to forge, a hybrid who was weapon and person, beast and human, all at once. Part 3, The Revelation. Chapter 7, Growing Stronger. 3 moons into training, everything changed, not dramatically, not overnight, but gradually I started to excel. My shifts became smooth, human to wolf in under 10 heartbeats, painless and controlled. My combat skills improved exponentially under Kira's personal instruction. I learned pack coordination, how to feel and respond to the pack bond. More importantly, I learned control. How to feel rage without being controlled by it. How to unleash my beast without losing myself. How to be powerful without being dangerous. The other recruits noticed. You're different, Zara said one evening at the lake. We'd made it a ritual. Every free evening, those of us who'd survived the first 3 moons would swim and talk and pretend we were normal for a few hours. Different how? Confident, controlled. Less like you're about to either run away or murder everyone. She grinned. It's a good look on you. Kira's training helps. More than helps. You're becoming what we all want to be. Actually good at this. Logan was floating nearby. She doesn't train people personally unless she sees real potential. You should be proud. I didn't know about proud, but I was less terrified, which felt like progress. Ty swam up beside me. Over the moons, we'd gotten closer. Not romantically, but something heading that direction. He made me laugh when training was brutal. I helped him with his unstable shifts, teaching him the breathing techniques Kira had taught me. Race you to the far shore, he challenged. You'll lose. Probably, but I like watching you swim. He said it casually, but I caught the meaning underneath. I splashed him. Flirt. Guilty, he splashed back, but seriously. Race? We raced. I won. Hybrid blood made me faster, but he kept up better than before. His shifts were improving too, less painful, more stable. When we reached the far shore, both breathing hard, he caught my hand. Maya, can I ask you something? Of course. When this is over, when we complete training, what do you want? I don't know. To survive? To not be a danger to people I care about? That's survival. What do you want? He moved closer. Because I want to see what we could be. Outside of training and fear and all this. My heart did something complicated. Ty! I know, bad timing. We're surrounded by violence and death and the constant threat of failure. But that's exactly why I'm asking. Because life is short and brutal, and I don't want to waste time pretending I don't care about you. I stared at him, at his crooked smile and intelligent eyes and the scars from where I'd nearly killed him. I care about you too, I admitted, but I'm dangerous. You know that better than anyone. We're all dangerous. That's why we're here. He brushed wet hair from my face. But you're also kind and strong and trying so hard to be better. That's what I see. That's what I want. He kissed me. It was gentle, questioning, giving me every opportunity to pull away. I didn't. Instead, I kissed him back, tasting lake water and possibility, and the terrifying hope that maybe I could have this. Have him. Have something normal in the middle of all this chaos. When we broke apart, he was grinning. So, that's a yes to when this is over? That's a we'll see if we both survive that long. I'll take it, but survival became complicated 2 weeks later when scouts brought news that changed everything. Kira called a full pack assembly, not just recruits, but every wolf at Bloodmoon. We gathered in the Great Hall, perhaps 200 strong, waiting to hear what warranted this. Kira stood at the front, flanked by her senior warriors. Her face was grim. The Silver Cross has been spotted in our territory, she announced. The hall erupted in angry growls. I looked at Zara, confused. Hunters, she whispered. They kill werewolves, have been for generations. They're fanatics, believe we're abominations that need to be eradicated. Quiet, Kira commanded. Instant silence. They've established a camp 50 miles south. Reports say at least 30 hunters, armed with silver weapons, possibly more. They've already hit 3 smaller packs. Total casualties unknown, but we're assuming heavy losses. Why are they here? Someone called. Because Bloodmoon is the largest, most organized pack in the region. If they want to send a message, we're the target. Kira's eyes swept the crowd. We prepare for war. Full defensive measures. Patrols doubled. Combat training intensified. No one leaves the compound alone. Marcus, an elder I'd met during my first days, stepped forward. Alpha, with respect. We should evacuate non-combatants. The hunters have never penetrated our defenses, but if they're organized, we don't run. Kira cut him off. Bloodmoon doesn't run. We've held this territory for 200 years. I'm not abandoning it because humans with silver weapons think they can frighten us. And the recruits? Another elder asked. They're not ready for combat. They will be. We have 2 weeks, perhaps 3 before Silver Cross moves. That's enough time. Kira looked directly at me. Recruits will train with full warriors, learn real combat, not just exercises. And when the hunters come, everyone fights. No exceptions. The meeting dispersed. Wolves moving to assigned duties, voices low and serious. I found myself frozen, processing. War. Real war. People are going to die. Hey, Ty appeared beside me. You all right? I don't know if I'm ready for this. None of us are. But we'll figure it out. He took my hand. Together. Chapter 8. The truth revealed training became brutal. Not the controlled brutality of learning. The desperate brutality of preparing for death. We sparred with full warriors who didn't hold back. Learned to fight dirty. To kill efficiently. To work as pack units against human enemies. I threw myself into it. Anything to not think about what was coming. 2 weeks after the announcement, during an evening meal, Marcus made a careless comment that shattered my world. We were eating, me, Ty, Zara, Logan, Iris, and a few other recruits, when Marcus walked past our table. He was talking to another elder, their conversation just loud enough to hear. The hybrid. She has potential, but that rage. Marcus shook his head. Just like Sarah. Same fire, same lack of control. Kira's playing with fire, training her. Sarah didn't lack control, the other elder argued. She was too gentle. The hybrid has her mother's rage without her mother's compassion. Perhaps, but I remember when Kira and Sarah were inseparable, before Sarah abandoned us, before she abandoned her. Marcus glanced at me, not realizing I was listening. Must be hard, training your dead best friend's daughter, especially knowing Sarah gave the girl away to save her. They moved on. I sat frozen. My mother. Kira knew my mother. They were best friends. Clara had said as much, but hearing it confirmed, hearing the pain in Marcus's voice when he talked about abandonment. Maya? Ty touched my arm. You all right? I need to talk to Kira. Now's not a great time. Now. I stood, not caring that the entire hall was watching. Where is she? Probably her quarters. But Maya, you can't just... I was already moving. Kira's quarters were in a separate building, larger than the recruit quarters, but still Spartan. I didn't knock, just walked in. She was at a table, reviewing maps. Looked up when I entered, her expression shifting from surprise to resignation. I was wondering when you'd figure it out, she said. You knew my mother. Yes. She was your best friend. Yes. And she abandoned you, left Bloodmoon, left you. I moved closer. What aren't you telling me? What really happened? Kira set down the maps, studied me for a long moment, then, close the door. I did. She poured 2 cups of something amber, mead, clearly strong, handed me one. 18 summers ago, your mother gave birth to a hybrid child. You. And pack law dictated that hybrid children were too dangerous to raise here. Too powerful, too unstable. The elders voted to handle it. Kill me. Yes. Kira took a drink. Your mother refused. Said she'd leave, raise you human, keep you away from pack life. I begged her to stay, told her we'd find another way. But she didn't trust the pack. Didn't trust that they wouldn't come for you eventually. So she left. Took you, found a human man who loved her despite what she was, and raised you as human. She hoped, we both hoped, that you'd never shift. That the wolf blood would stay dormant. Kira finished her drink. Obviously, that didn't work. Why didn't you tell me? Because it wasn't relevant. You're here to learn control, not to process your mother's choices. She poured another cup. But since you've forced the conversation, yes, Sarah was my best friend. Yes, she left me. Yes, I was angry for years. But when she died and I learned you existed, a hybrid daughter who'd eventually shift, I made a promise to her memory that if you came to Bloodmoon, I'd teach you everything I couldn't teach her. How to be strong without losing your humanity. How to master the beast without becoming it. You've been protecting me. I've been training you. There's a difference. But her eyes told a different story. The personal training. The brutal punishments that were actually lessons. The way you watch me during drills. I moved closer. You're not training me because pack law demands it. You're training me because you loved her. Because you couldn't save her. But you can save me. Don't romanticize it. I'm doing my duty. Liar. The word came out soft, not accusatory. You're doing what you couldn't do for her. You're making sure I don't make her mistakes." For the first time since I'd met her, Kira looked vulnerable, the mask of cold alpha slipping to show the woman underneath. "She asked me before she left," Kira said quietly. "Asked me to promise that if her daughter ever came to Bloodmoon, I'd treat her like Pack. Not like a hybrid, not like a threat. Just like Pack." She met my eyes. "I failed at that. I've been harder on you than anyone. But it's because I won't lose another person I care about to their own lack of control." The admission hung between us. "You care about me," I said. "Unfortunately, yes. Despite my better judgment." She smiled, and for the first time it looked genuine. "You're stubborn, reckless, and you have your mother's habit of leading with your heart instead of your head. But you're also brave, and you're learning, and you're becoming exactly what I hoped you would be." "Which is?" "Someone worthy of the Bloodmoon name, someone strong enough to survive what's coming." She stood. "The Silver Cross will attack. Soon, and when they do, you'll fight alongside me. Not because you're a recruit, but because you're Pack. You understand." I nodded. "Good. Now get out. And tell whoever you're betting that walls are thin. Keep it quiet, or I'll assign punishment laps." I blushed furiously. "I'm not. Ty and I haven't. Yet, but you will. You're young and stupid and in love. Just be smart about it." She waved me toward the door. "Go. I have a war to plan." I left, but everything had changed. Kira wasn't just my alpha. She was the closest thing to family I had left. The woman who'd loved my mother and was trying to save me from her fate. And I wasn't going to let her down. Part 4. The Battle. Chapter 9. The Silver Cross Attacks. They came at dawn. I was awake, had been on perimeter patrol with Ty and 3 other recruits when we heard it. Howling. Not wolf howls. Human voices imitating wolf sounds, mocking us. Then the sound of steel on steel. "Get to the compound!" the patrol leader shouted. "Now!" We ran. Behind us, the forest erupted with movement, hunters, dozens of them, emerging from the trees with silver crossbow bolts and spears and swords designed specifically to kill werewolves. The dawn was cold and gray, perfect for an ambush. They'd planned this. We burst through the compound gates to find chaos. Bloodmoon wolves were everywhere, scrambling to defensive positions, some already shifted, others human, and grabbing weapons. Kira stood at the center in human form, shouting orders with absolute authority. "Warriors to the walls, recruits to fallback positions. If they breach the gates, fall back to the Great Hall." An explosion shook the ground. The eastern wall, stone that had stood for 200 years, cracked. Smoke billowed. Through it came hunters with fire, spreading flames that made shifting dangerous. "They planned this," Zara said beside me, her voice shaking. "They know how we fight, know our weaknesses." Another explosion, this time the gates. Hunters poured through. "Shift!" Kira roared. "All warriors shift! Defend your pack!" I shifted without thinking. Smooth, fast, controlled. My hybrid form emerged in heartbeats, larger than most of the wolves around me. Beside me, Ty shifted. Still unstable, but better than before. Logan, Zara, Iris, all shifting. We were Pack, and Pack protected Pack. The battle was chaos. Hunters with silver weapons, wolves with teeth and claws. Fire spreading through the compound. Screams, human and wolf, pain in both languages. I fought on instinct, everything Kira had taught me distilling into pure survival. I saw her across the battlefield, massive alpha wolf, silver-streaked black, tearing through hunters like they were parchment. She was magnificent, terrifying. Everything an alpha should be. I fought toward her, took down 3 hunters who'd surrounded a wounded warrior, dragged the wounded wolf to safety, turned to find more enemies, and saw Devon. Sweet, gentle Devon who'd been sent here 4 moons ago, who'd struggled, but tried. He was in human form, bleeding, cornered by 5 hunters. They had silver blades. He was going to die. I charged, crossed the distance in heartbeats, throwing myself between Devon and his killers. Took a blade to my shoulder, silver burning like acid, but I didn't stop. Couldn't stop. Killed 2 hunters, drove off the other 3. Get to the healers, I told Devon. Now! But go! He ran. I turned to rejoin the fight and saw Kira. She was surrounded. A dozen hunters, all with silver weapons, organized and efficient. They'd been waiting for her. This was an execution squad. She fought like a force of nature, killed 4 in heartbeats, but there were too many. A silver net fell over her. She thrashed, the metal burning, her strength not enough against numbers and planning. The lead hunter, a man with cold eyes and a crossbow loaded with a silver bolt, approached her, aimed at her heart. For all the packs you've slaughtered, he said, for all the humans you've killed, for all the monsters you've created, this ends now. No. Something broke inside me. Not control, something deeper, more primal. My beast roared, I transformed, not just shifted, but became something else entirely. My hybrid form grew larger, stronger, more feral. Silver streaks in my fur glowed. My eyes burned with power I'd never felt before. This was what they'd feared, what my mother had tried to prevent. The full unleashing of hybrid blood. I became terror made flesh. I crossed the battlefield faster than I'd ever moved, hit the hunters like an avalanche. Shesh 2/2. Continue 9:04 p.m. redded the silver net with claws that shouldn't have been able to touch silver. Stood over Kira, protecting her, daring anyone to try. The lead hunter aimed his crossbow at me. I caught the bolt mid-flight, crushed it in my jaws, and looked at him with eyes that promised death. He ran. They all ran. Bloodmoon wolves howled victory, but victory came with cost. As the remaining hunters retreated, as dawn fully broke over a compound in ruins, we counted our losses. 15 dead, 30 wounded, buildings burned, walls cracked. And in the middle of it all, me, shifted back to human, covered in blood. Some mine, most not, kneeling beside Kira. She'd been hurt. Not fatally, but badly. The silver net had burned deep, and she'd taken a blade to her side before I'd reached her. You saved me, she said, her voice weak. You've saved me 100 times. Seemed fair. That transformation. What you became. She looked at me with something like awe. That's why they feared hybrids. That's the power your mother tried to hide. I couldn't control it, You controlled it enough. You didn't kill any of ours. Only the enemy. That's control where it matters. She gripped my hand. You're not your mother, Maya. You're stronger than she was. Strong enough to be both human and beast. Both gentle and fierce. She would have been proud, I whispered. She is proud. Wherever she is, she's proud. Kira squeezed my hand. As am I. Clara appeared then, with other healers, to tend the wounded. They took Kira away gently. She went without protest, a sign of how hurt she really was. I stood there alone in the wreckage and felt something settle inside me. Not peace, but purpose. This is what I am. Hybrid. Warrior. Pack. Maya! Ty's voice. I turned. He was limping but alive, his face covered in soot. Behind him, Zara, Logan, Iris, all injured but alive. And Devon. He approached slowly, shame and gratitude warring on his face. You saved me, he said. I would have died if you hadn't. That's what Pack does. We protect each other. But I'm weak. I don't belong here. I've always been. You belong because you keep trying. Because you stand when it would be easier to run. That makes you Pack. I pulled him into an embrace, not caring that we were both covered in blood. We're all broken, but we break together. He sobbed into my shoulder. Logan and Iris joined the embrace, then Zara, then Ty, All of us, the broken recruits who'd survived our first real battle, holding each other up. We'd lost people. 3 other recruits were dead, but we were alive, and we'd fought for each other. That meant something. Part 5. Resolution. Chapter 10. Aftermath. The funerals took 3 days, 15 wolves burned on pyres according to tradition. Each one mourned, each one honored, each one remembered. I helped prepare the bodies, helped build the pyres, helped carry fallen packmates to their final rest. It felt important, necessary. Devon helped too. The recruit he'd been before the battle, nervous, uncertain, was gone. In his place was someone harder, scarred, but still present, still trying. "I'm staying," he told me on the second day. "I know I said I wanted to leave, to go back, but watching them die, watching you save me, I can't waste that. I have to be worth it. You already are." "No, but I will be." On the 3rd day after the last pyre had burned, Kira called another assembly. She was healed enough to stand. Werewolf healing was quick, even with silver wounds. She faced her pack with pride evident in every line of her body. "We won," she said simply. The Silver Cross attacked with superior numbers, superior planning, and every advantage. And we drove them off, killed half their forces, sent the rest running. She paused, but victory is always paid in blood. We lost packmates, warriors who'd served for decades, recruits who'd barely learned to shift. They died protecting each other, protecting us. And we honor them. The pack howled, long, mournful notes that spoke of grief and pride and determination. When silence returned, Kira continued. "The Silver Cross will return. They always do. But when they come next time, we'll be ready. Stronger, better prepared." Her eyes found mine, and we'll have weapons they never planned for. She gestured me forward. I approached, confused, stood before her while the entire pack watched. "Maya Ashborn, hybrid. You arrived here broken, uncontrolled, dangerous. In 7 moons, you've become something no one expected. A warrior who can unleash devastating power while maintaining control. Someone who saved her alpha's life. Someone who proved that hybrids aren't just dangerous, they're essential." She placed her hand on my head. Formal gesture, ritual. "I name you Bloodmoon. Fully, without qualification. You are Pack." She looked at the assembled wolves. "Any who disagree can challenge me now." Silence. No challenges. Just acknowledgement. "Welcome home, Maya Bloodmoon." The pack howled, this time in celebration. I felt the pack bond, which had always been faint, suddenly surge. Full connection. I could feel every wolf around me, their presence, their acceptance, their recognition that I belonged. Tears ran down my face, not from pain, from overwhelming relief. I'm Pack. Really Pack. Chapter 11. New Beginnings. That night we celebrated. Not the dead, we'd done that. But the living. Those who'd survived. Those who'd earned their place through blood and fire. The great hall filled with wolves eating, drinking, telling stories of the battle. Making it legend. Making it ours. Ty found me on the outskirts watching. "You did it," he said. "Proved yourself, became Pack. We did it. All of us. True, but you saved Kira. That's different." He took my hand. "Also, I've decided I'm not waiting anymore." "For what?" "For after this is over. Because there's always going to be another battle, another crisis, another reason to wait. So I'm not waiting." He pulled me close. "I love you, Maya. Hybrid, warrior, whatever. I love you, and I want to see where this goes." My heart did something complicated and wonderful. "I love you too," I admitted. "Even though it's probably foolish and we're definitely going to get hurt and—" He kissed me. Not gentle this time. Desperate, fierce, claiming. When we broke apart, I was breathless. "Your quarters or mine?" he asked, grinning. Bold. Life is short. Also, I've been wanting to do this for moons, and Kira basically gave us permission, so... Mine, it's closer. We left the celebration. No one commented. Pack bonds meant everyone knew everything, but also meant they respected privacy. That night was the first time I felt completely safe in someone else's hands. The first time I let someone see all of me, human, wolf, hybrid, and chose to stay. Chapter 12. The Promise. The next morning I found Kira on the compound walls, looking out at the forest. "The Silver Cross leader escaped," she said without preamble. "He'll return. Probably with more hunters, more weapons. This isn't over." "I know. But next time we'll be ready, and we'll take the fight to them." She looked at me. "I'm building a strike force. Small unit, highly skilled, designed to hit their camps before they can organize. I want you on it." "As a recruit?" "As a warrior. You proved yourself in battle. You're not a recruit anymore, Maya. You're Bloodmoon." She smiled. "Also, if I don't give you a position, you'll just get into trouble. Might as well channel that energy usefully." "What about the others? Ty, Zara, Logan, Iris?" "They complete training next moon. If they pass final trials, they join full warrior ranks. If they join, they're eligible for the strike force." She paused. "You're building a pack within the pack, Maya. Those recruits follow you, trust you. That's valuable. I don't want to lead. I just want to protect them. I know. That's why you're perfect for it." She gripped my shoulder. "Your mother would be proud. Of your strength, your compassion, your ability to be both warrior and person. She tried to choose one or the other. You've proven you can be both. Do you miss her?" "Every day." Kira's voice went soft. "But I have you now. A piece of her that survived. And that's enough." We stood in comfortable silence, watching the sunrise. "What happens now?" I finally asked. "Now we rebuild. We train. We prepare for war." She smiled. "And this time, we take the fight to them." "When?" "When you're ready. When your team is ready. When we've learned everything we can about Silver Cross operations." She looked at me seriously. "This is a long fight, Maya. Generations long. But we're going to win it. Because we have something they don't." "What's that?" "Each other. Pack. Family. Wolves who fight for each other. Not just against enemies." She squeezed my shoulder. "You've become what I hoped for. Now help me forge others." "Yes, Alpha." "Good. Now go. Your mate is waiting for you, and I have a strike force to plan." Epilogue. Full moon. 3 moons later, I stood on the compound walls under a full moon. Behind me, the pack was celebrating. Another successful raid on a Silver Cross outpost. No casualties on our side. 3 hunters captured for questioning. Weapons and intelligence seized. My strike force had done that. Me, Ty, Zara, Logan, and Iris. 5 wolves who'd arrived broken and become lethal. Ty approached, wrapping his arms around me from behind. "You should be celebrating. That was your plan. Your leadership. I'm just thinking. About? How different everything is. 7 moons ago, I was human. Now I'm pack. I have a family, a purpose, someone I love." I leaned back into him. "It's almost enough to make me grateful my father abandoned me." "Almost?" "Still working on that part." He laughed. "Fair. But seriously, Maya, you're incredible. You led that raid perfectly. Saved 2 wolves who would have died. And you're only getting better." "We're getting better. This isn't just me." "True. But you're the one who holds us together." He kissed my neck. "You're the one Kira's training to take over someday." I turned to face him. "She told you that?" "She tells everyone that. She's grooming you for alpha succession. You know that, right? That's insane. I've been pack for 7 moons. And you've proven yourself more than wolves who've been here for years. You're hybrid, stronger, faster, more powerful. You're tactical, compassionate, and the pack follows you without question. He smiled. Face it, Maya. You're going to lead Bloodmoon someday. The idea should have terrified me. Instead, it felt right. Maybe. Someday. When I'm ready. Behind us, Kira appeared, also looking out at the forest. The Silver Cross won't stop, she said. They'll keep coming, keep trying to eradicate us. Then we keep fighting, I said. Keep proving we deserve to exist. Good answer, she looked at me. Your mother used to say that werewolves weren't monsters. We were just wolves trying to find our place in a world that feared us. I never understood what she meant. But watching you, how you fight with both strength and mercy, I think I finally do. What are we then? If not monsters? Survivors, protectors, family, she smiled. Pack. The moon hung full and bright above us. I felt my beast stir, not with violence or rage, but with contentment, with belonging. This is home, she whispered. This is where we were always meant to be. I couldn't argue. 7 moons ago, I'd been Maya Ashborn, human girl who'd killed someone and been abandoned by her father. Now I was Maya Bloodmoon, hybrid warrior, strike force leader, pack member. Someone with family, purpose, and a future. Someone who'd proven that being half human, half wolf didn't make you weak or dangerous. It made you whole. Kira looked at me. Ready for tomorrow's training? Always. Good. Because next week we're hitting their main encampment. Biggest operation yet. And you're leading it. I won't let you down. I know you won't. You never have. She gripped my shoulder. Your mother would be so proud, Maya. As am I. She left, giving me and Ty privacy. We stood under the moon, werewolves, lovers, warriors, and watched the forest where hunters still lurked, where battles still waited, where our story was only beginning. What are you thinking? Ty asked. That I'm not afraid anymore, of my beast, of the future, of any of it. Because you're in control? Because I'm not trying to control anything. I'm just being what I am. And that's enough. He kissed me under the moonlight, and for the first time since my mother died, since my father abandoned me, since I became something inhuman and terrifying, I felt at peace. The beast inside me was quiet, happy, home. We were pack. We were Bloodmoon. And we were ready for whatever came next. The ancient forest stretched before us, full of danger and possibility. The Silver Cross would return. Other threats would emerge, but we would face them together. Because that's what pack meant. What family meant. What being whole meant. I howled, long and clear, a sound of triumph and belonging. Ty joined me. Then Zara and Logan and Iris from below. Then the entire pack, 200 voices raised in chorus. We were wolves. We were warriors. We were home. And nothing would take that from us again. The end